Welcome back. This is the third episode of our video series on anticipatory governance and foresight in support of the Foundational Digital Capabilities Research Program. Our first two episodes explored how and why we use futures and foresight in scholarship and in research design. In this video, we delve more specifically into what some recent future-oriented studies are signaling about long-term trends and governance challenges in our interest field of digital economies. Environmental or horizon scanning is a foresight method that is often used to inform strategic planning, policy development, and innovation by providing a structured view of the external operating environment. This method can also be complemented with techniques such as the Delphi method, a structured process used to solicit and aggregate judgments from a panel of experts. These experts help to inform, validate, or challenge initial signals and trends found during scanning by incorporating informed, consensus-based insights into the analysis. Scanning is used to inform other foresight processes, including scenario planning, which explores multiple plausible futures based on identified drivers of change, or trend analysis, which tracks and projects the evolution of prioritized signals. We conducted a horizon scan to contribute to a shared and systematic understanding of the current and emerging landscape of the digital economy in South Africa, with a specific deep dive into its social dimensions. Here are some key findings from the horizon scan of South Africa's digital economies. There were trends and contradictions identified. Remember, a trend in foresight is a long-term, identifiable and relatively predictable pattern of change. The trends identified were, firstly, a dual-track reality defines the environment, with globally integrated metropolitan hubs existing alongside rural and township communities engaged in survivalist digital activities. Secondly, digital technologies are accelerating the structural inequality reproduction inherited from the past, as the platform economy entrenches precarity and the digital gate remains closed for the majority. Thirdly, signals show governance fragmentation, with the state acting as an absent conductor, unable to coordinate digital transformation effectively, thus undermining ambitious plans. And fourthly, counter signals reveal emerging agency and resistance, such as bottom-up innovations like community Wi-Fi initiatives and youth movements that are leveraging social media for activism. In this study of South Africa's digital economy, the critical uncertainties were found to be: will South Africa shift from fragmented aspiration to coordinated orchestration of its digital future? Can digital platforms evolve into infrastructures of inclusion rather than extraction? Will generative AI augment or displace workers across key sectors? The study also analyzed key signals. In foresight, signals are concrete, observable, and often subtle indications of potential future change. The study found the strongest signals cluster to be around platforms and markets, such as e-commerce and fintech concentration. Also, the study found digital labor and digital inequality to be a strong signal, referring primarily to gig precarity and persistent access gaps. This clustering indicates where the current pace of technological and market change is most visible, but it does not diminish the strategic importance of other emerging areas like the ethics of AI or socio-technical understandings, which may have fewer current signals but carry higher long-term risk. It may also indicate popular or conversely understudied areas. These findings support key messages emerging from a recent WITS volume on Africa's digital transformation and its governance, which concluded by identifying 7 critical future trajectories and policy imperatives for Africa's digital governance. First, Africa needs to shift from being passive recipient to active co-creator. The volume advocates for a fundamental shift from passively adopting external digital agendas to actively shaping our own digital futures. Second, nurturing contextually appropriate governance frameworks. The study recommends the rigorous enforcement of flexible frameworks that allow for Africa's unique socio-political and economic realities. Third, strengthening digital infrastructure and addressing the digital divide holistically. The imperative of going beyond mere network access to addressing affordability, digital literacy, and foundational issues like electricity reliability is emphasized. Fourth, asserting digital sovereignty through collaboration and regional integration. The volume emphasizes the importance of building alliances and regional mechanisms to gain stronger leverage against global tech giants. 5. Investing in anticipatory and local research capacity. A recommendation is made to foster research and policy methodologies that capture the nuances of African contexts. This would include developing futures literacy in Africa. 6. Embedding ethical principles and human rights. The volume emphasizes the need to ensure that AI systems are responsible, data practices are transparent, and technology does not deepen existing discriminations. And finally, 7th, sustainable and resilient digital systems. The critical importance of designing digital ecosystems that can withstand economic, environmental, and political shocks and consistently deliver long-term benefits is emphasized. These studies offer some insight as to how futures consideration can help to steer research and policy on digital economy and digital capabilities. For example, it is clear that the research agenda requires careful consideration of inclusive governance, bottom-up innovation, and equitable AI adoption. Secondly, the commentary might suggest that researchers should adopt a post-digital lens, viewing digital technologies as deeply integrated into and constitutive of the continent's socioeconomic and political structures rather than as external novelties. It may be useful to consider doing more specific environmental scanning or even monitoring for your own research program. The question really is this: how you know and consider what and how contextual factors and changes over time might inform and affect your knowledge and policy agenda. By institutionalizing, scanning, and monitoring, your research program ensures that insights inform adaptive regulatory strategies that can keep pace with rapid technological and societal evolution, helping you proactively shape the future rather than just reacting to it. This episode is part of a learning series on anticipatory governance and foresight in digital research. The next episode will explore the future implications of AI for Africa.